It was just past noon in Shanghai when news broke across television screens and social media feeds. The C919, China's pride and newest passenger jet, had been grounded. In the control room, engineers stared at blinking monitors, their faces tight with worry. Passengers at airports murmured in confusion as flights were canceled, gates closed, and the sleek white and blue jets stood silent on the tarmac. In Beijing, government officials rushed into closed-door meetings, phones pressed to their ears. Aviation blogs and news sites buzzed with speculation. Was it a technical fault or something deeper? The crisis, once hidden, had burst into the open, and people across China and beyond wanted answers. The C919 had promised a bright future for China's air travel industry. Now, that future seemed uncertain. In one dramatic afternoon, the dream of challenging Boeing and Airbus was in danger. The world watched as the story unfolded, wondering what would come next for China's ambitious airplane project. The C919 is a large, narrow-body passenger airplane designed and built by the Chinese company COMAC, or the Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China. This ambitious project represents years of research, development, and national investment, all aimed at creating a homegrown alternative to foreign aircraft. Its mission was clear: to compete directly with the world's most popular jets, like the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320, which have long dominated the skies and global airline fleets. China wanted to break this duopoly and offer its own solution to airlines both at home and abroad. For years, thousands of Chinese engineers and technicians worked day and night, overcoming countless technical challenges and setbacks, to turn this ambitious goal into reality. Their dedication was fueled by a sense of national pride and the desire to prove China's capabilities on the world stage. The C919 first took to the skies in 2017, marking a historic moment that sparked hope and pride across China. The maiden flight was watched by millions, and it became a symbol of what Chinese innovation could achieve. It was the country's first big step into the fiercely competitive global airplane market, signaling China's intent to become a major player in commercial aviation. The project aimed to show that China could build modern, safe, and efficient planes not just for its own people, but for airlines around the world. COMAC wanted to prove that Chinese technology could meet international standards and win the trust of global carriers. Many saw the C919 as more than just a machine. For passengers, engineers, and officials alike, it represented a dream, a leap forward for China's aviation industry, and a source of inspiration for future generations. It was a symbol of China's growing power and its determination to reduce dependence on foreign aircraft makers, asserting its place as a leader in high-tech manufacturing and innovation. Each milestone was celebrated in the news, and every delay was watched closely by the public. The C919's progress became a matter of national interest, with every update followed by millions. By 2025, the C919 was flying passengers inside China and drawing interest from airlines abroad, with several international carriers considering adding the jet to their fleets. The future looked bright, until the crisis struck, threatening to derail China's aviation dream just as it was taking off. Air travel inside China has grown quickly in the past decades. With hundreds of millions of people traveling each year, the country needs thousands of airplanes. Until now, almost all these planes have come from Boeing or Airbus. Each year, China spends billions of dollars buying foreign jets. The C919 was designed to change this. If it succeeded, China could keep more of its money at home and build up its own technology and jobs. It would mean less dependence on other countries for vital transport needs. The project also had a political meaning. Chinese leaders wanted to show the world that they could master complex engineering and become leaders in high-tech industries. The C919 was one of their top priorities. For many ordinary Chinese people, the C919 became a symbol of national pride. They saw it as proof that China could compete with the best companies in the world. That's why the crisis was such a shock. The C919 crisis did not happen overnight. It was the result of a series of challenges that built up over time, both in the engineering labs and in the world of international politics. Early test flights showed promise, with engineers and officials hopeful about the jet's future. But as testing continued, some problems soon appeared, casting a shadow over the initial optimism. Engineers found issues in the jet's engines and software, ranging from unexpected vibrations to glitches in the onboard systems. Sometimes, small parts failed in ways that were hard to predict, causing delays and requiring redesigns. Even minor flaws could have major consequences in aviation. Airlines reported delays and had to cancel flights, annoying passengers and raising questions about the plane's reliability. The public's trust in the C919 began to waver as stories of disruptions spread. At the same time, global politics made things harder. International tensions and trade disputes added new layers of difficulty for the C919 program. Many key parts for the C919, like engines and electronics, came from foreign suppliers, making the project vulnerable to outside pressures. Some of these companies faced pressure from their own governments not to sell to China, especially as geopolitical rivalries intensified. This made it hard to get parts and slowed down repairs and production, leaving aircraft grounded and workers idle for weeks or even months. The biggest blow came when a serious safety fault was found in the jet's flight control system, a critical issue that could not be ignored. Regulators could not ignore it. They demanded immediate action and a thorough investigation into the root cause of the problem. Almost overnight, all C919s were ordered to stop flying until the problem could be fixed, leaving airports eerily quiet and flights canceled across the country. This combination of technical and political trouble forced the program into a deep crisis, with media coverage intensifying the pressure on everyone involved. It was a painful setback for China's aviation dream, testing the resolve of engineers, officials, and the entire nation as they faced an uncertain future. China is not the first country to face airplane troubles. Boeing and Airbus, the world's leading airplane makers, have both survived serious crises. Boeing's 737 MAX, for example, was grounded worldwide after 2 deadly crashes caused by faulty software. It took years of work, many changes, and strong government oversight to fix the problems and return the planes to service. Airbus, too, has faced delays and technical setbacks. Its A380 Super Jumbo, once called the future of air travel, suffered from wiring problems and high costs. Some airlines canceled their orders, and Airbus stopped making the plane earlier than planned. These examples show that even the biggest companies can stumble. Making airplanes is complicated and risky. Safety always comes first, and it can take years to rebuild trust after a major failure. China's challenge is not unique, but fixing the C919 will take time, money, and careful work, just as it did for Boeing and Airbus. The global market for airplanes is, well, just massive, stretching across continents and connecting people and businesses everywhere. Every day, thousands of flights take off and land, making air travel one of the most vital industries in the world. But honestly, it's also pretty crowded and super competitive. Airlines are always looking for the best deals, the most efficient planes, and the safest options for their passengers. Boeing and Airbus, they sell thousands of planes each year to airlines all over the world. Their jets are everywhere, and their reputations have been built over decades of experience and innovation. For a new jet like the C919 to really succeed, it has to be safe, reliable, and able to meet the high expectations of airlines and passengers alike. And importantly, it needs to be cheap enough to win customers, especially those looking to expand their fleets without breaking the bank. Before the crisis, the C919 had received hundreds of orders, mostly from Chinese airlines eager to support a homegrown jet, but also from a few foreign companies interested in diversifying their fleets and exploring new options. Many experts said the plane could slowly win a share of the market, especially in regions where airlines are looking for alternatives to the established giants. This was especially true as China's own airlines expanded rapidly, adding new routes and increasing demand for modern jets. But the crisis changed things dramatically, shaking confidence across the industry. Some airlines grew nervous and delayed their orders, unsure about the future and waiting for more stability. Others waited to see if the problems could be fixed, watching closely as engineers worked to resolve the issues. The C919's future in the global market now depends on how quickly and safely these issues can be solved, and whether the jet can prove itself in real-world operations. If China can restore confidence in the C919, it still has a chance to challenge the old giants and carve out a place in the skies. If not, Boeing and Airbus will keep their lead, and the dream of a new global competitor may have to wait a little longer. China's leaders did not wait to act. The day after the crisis broke, they called in engineers, business leaders, and regulators for urgent meetings. Extra teams were sent to the factories to check every step of production. COMAC, the maker of the C919, promised to work around the clock to find and fix the problems. At the same time, China looked for ways to depend less on foreign parts. New deals were signed with local companies to develop engines and electronics at home. Research centers were given extra money and talent to speed up innovation. The government also started talks with foreign regulators to show that safety was their highest goal. They promised to be open about the problems and share all their findings with the world. China's quick response showed how important the C919 was to its leaders. They were not ready to give up on their aviation dream. Fixing the C919's problems will not be easy. Technical challenges take time to solve, and safety must always come first. Engineers must redesign faulty systems, test them in the air, and prove that the plane is safe for passengers everywhere. At the same time, China's airplane industry must learn to build more parts at home. This will take investment and patience. It may slow down the program in the short term, but could make it stronger in the future. Winning back trust from airlines and passengers is another big test. COMAC will need to show that the C919 is as safe and reliable as any Boeing or Airbus jet. Only then can it hope to return to the skies, first in China, then around the world. The next few years will decide the fate of China's aviation dream. The C919 crisis is a setback, but not the end of China's journey in aviation. Making airplanes is never easy. Even the biggest companies have faced failure before finding success. If China can fix the C919 and prove its safety, it will show the world that it belongs among the leaders in high technology. The struggle may also push China to depend more on its own ideas and talent. This could make its airplane industry stronger and more independent in the long run. For passengers, the C919 could one day offer more choices and cheaper flights. For the world, it means more competition and faster progress in aviation. The story of the C919 is not over. Its next chapter will shape the future of flight for years to come.